So welcome everybody to another episode of our Sunday COVID Crisis Comeback Challenge, Secrets of Goal Achievement Mastery Alumni Mastermind. We do this every Sunday, and I'm very, very happy that you could all join me tonight. As you know, this program is sponsored by my little company, Integrative Wellness and Development, LLC. My name is Mike DeLuca, and I am the host and also the owner of Integrative Wellness and Development, LLC. We are the organization that sponsors the COVID Crisis Comeback Challenge, the Secrets to Goal Achievement Mastery Summit, also the Profitable Spirituality Summit, and the Your 9 Steps for Goal Achievement Mastery Masterclass, as well as the Daily Goal Achievement Mastery Journaling System class. So those are all the things that we have going here. And we have folks represented here who are involved in many of those programs. And we have folks who are joining us for the first time, and welcome everyone. As you know, the purpose of this program tonight is fully about education, about inspiration, about sharing tools and techniques for personal development and goal achievement. We do not in any way, shape, or form claim to diagnose, treat, or prevent any type of illness or condition. We are not a therapy or a therapeutic support group. We are a group of people sharing technology, sharing information, education, and experiences, the purpose of personal growth and development. So with that said, I was moved to touch on this subject of, as we are moving towards the goal achievement process, it's valuable to recognize that it's part of our makeup. You know, it's certainly part of the way our brain works, to where we are often in the pursuit of a goal, running towards something, and also oftentimes running away from something, right? Running towards some new experiences, some new achievements, some new tools, new capabilities, new changes, but also running away from some things that we want to let go of, or also some things we might want to escape from our past. And tonight is just, being honest and being clear and being relaxed about looking at those things. And so I thought I'd come up with a few questions to have us, begin to examine this process of moving forward. And when we're moving forward, running towards something, and then also look at, what is the motivation of the moving away from something. So I'm going to share my screen with you because I wrote down a few notes. So what I'd like for you to do, if you care to join in here to feed the discussion we're going to have in a few minutes, is first on the top of your piece of paper, write down what is a goal that you are working currently to achieve, something that's real important to you, something that involves moving beyond where you are right now or have been, and moving towards. And just take a moment and write that down. Okay, next I'm going to have you take a look at, imagine that the goal is out there in front of you. It's about, maybe about 50 yards away. And as you're running towards it, you're recognizing there are certain things that are attached to the achievement of that goal. There are certain experiences, certain advantages and changes from your current state, and each of those may have a certain number of benefits to you if you, in fact, and when you, in fact, achieve that goal. So I'd like for you to examine what you are going to be running towards. What are the important experiences involved in embracing that goal? What are the advantages to you in achieving that goal? What benefits will it bring to your life when you achieve it? Right? And what do you become? What do you become? How are you changed once you achieve that goal? Take some time and go ahead, explore that, and write that down on your piece of paper. Okay, and if everybody has that, I'm going to stop the screen share so I can see y'all. And I want to ask you as a group, when I asked you to see not just the goal ahead, but I asked you to see what were the experiences, the gifts, and also what would you become? How would that change you for the better, the positive, in the achievement of that goal? That's the running towards something, right? We are moving towards being something more than what we are right now, having something more than what we have right now, knowing something more than we know right now, and being something more than we are right now. Okay. So take a moment and just, really embrace that, really embrace this realization of, wow, I'm running towards not just being able to say I achieved this goal, but I'm running towards how the components of that goal will change me and change my life. And what are those changes you're seeking? What are the changes that you are running towards? Okay. And I'm going to ask you, if you feel comfortable enough to share, who would like to share what is the goal and what did you experience when you saw it 50 yards away and you began to hone in on what was it about that goal that you were looking to achieve, you were looking to experience, and then how would you change because of it? And what were the changes and how would they benefit you? Who would like to be first to share? You can go ahead and use your little electronic hand raiser thingy. Or just wave into the screen and I'll keep moving the screen. There we go. There's one. Okay. I actually can see it right in the participant list. So I've got two there. Okay. So we're going to start with Marvin, and then we're going to move to Nancy. So Marvin, why don't you unmute yourself and why don't you share with me your goal and what was it that you were moving towards, running towards to embrace?
So you and I are working on a sports project together,
Yes.
and I'm running towards, it's just very interesting. I'm running towards freedom.
Ah,
I hadn't realized that that's really what I was running toward. Financial freedom, um, uh, but mostly freedom to be able to um, not have to work. Not that I don't want to work, but not to have to work.
and what happens when you achieve freedom? What does that change inside of you, and who do you become?
It's it's like successful where I wasn't before. I hadn't realized I was chasing this thing about success.
And what becomes possible for you when you have embraced the fact that you are now successful?
Well, we have finances to be able to do some of the things that I've always wanted to do but couldn't do for financial reasons, and more more travel and uh, just uh, be able to be a lot more generous around donating money and giving money to people who need it around us. And um, but mostly it's this whole concept of freedom.
Okay. And when you have this freedom, when you have attained what you are calling success, what changes does that bring inside of you? How does that change who you see, how and who you see yourself as?
It ups the ante. It kind of fills in the gaps of um, how I view myself.
Ah,
I don't.
yeah. And how do you view yourself differently, having embraced and achieved this freedom and this success? How
Well,
do you view yourself differently?
I'll feel better about myself
Okay. And how
having
do, go
having
ahead.
achieved having achieved having achieved that.
Okay.
I yeah.
Okay. And what does feeling better about yourself look like?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I really haven't thought about it.
Okay.
I
So,
don't. You know, from time to time, I see how I don't really see myself the way other people do, with as positive a, like, with in as positive a view as other people do.
ah, so achieving the goal is allowing you to see yourself in a positive view, in
In
the
a,
more positive view than you ever have done before, and to see yourself the way others see you who recognize the value in you, right?
yeah.
Okay, so then you're running towards the ability to see yourself as you truly are.
Wow.
See what I'm saying here?
Wow. That's
See?
amazing.
Yeah. So that's when we are looking to achieve a goal. And for those of you who are in my Your 9 Steps to Go for a Goal Achievement Masterclass, and you've been going through the various steps, you've been seeing how by coming into a more intimate relationship and knowingness of who we are and what motivates us, what drives us, what inspires us, and then moving to the integration of higher self, mind, memory, emotions, brain, and physical, we then begin to understand there are greater purposes and greater motivations behind heading towards a goal than just having the achievement of the goal, the material aspect of the goal. That there are parts of us all up and down the ladder of values and of, like Maslow's, pyramid, right? There are all kinds of things happening to increase our sense of self knowledge and self-awareness and self-realization, and also self-satisfaction and self-acceptance. You see that?
Now I see why. I see why it's not just about achieving the goal. It's about the process, and it's about being okay with the process of being where it is right now, versus having to have it be where I want it to be.
And it is the process of exploration and inspiration, exploration, and realization, right? That the benefits of achieving the goal are transmitted to you, right? Arriving at that point and having the goal is not complete as a benefit as having gone through the process of meeting yourself and beginning to expand who you are, what you are, why you are, and how you are meant to navigate through this world and through this life, right? So we'll continue with this. Thank you, Marvin, for
Thank you
that.
very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nancy.
Same idea here that I was realizing. My goal is singing.
Yeah.
And I get so far and I just stop singing. And then I start all over. And then I realize, okay, well, why do I stop? And that's sort of, well, if I got to the singing, the reason I stopped wouldn't be there. So I'm feeling like I'm not worthy enough to be this singer. I'm not good enough. All these types of things. And today, even when you ask the questions, it started becoming clearer. The singing is like the carrot that keeps me going. But the real reason is this other good stuff about how much happier I'll be with or without the singing. It's what I'm discovering along the way. And I still want to sing, but it's not so focused on the future that I'm not focused on how do I feel about me and about my ability to give and receive love and my worth right now in this moment. And that seemed to be the tricky bit about this. So yes, I need to keep singing and I want to keep singing, but it's what's going to open my heart is the journey along the way is where the real meat and the growth and the joy is. And then when I get to be singing, it's going to be another thing that's going to move me along to further my ability to give and receive love and feel good about who I am and identify more with my higher self. So that's kind of like, I'm kind of cheating because I'm stealing from Marvin, but and what you said, but that's kind of the idea that I got, that the singing or the goal is a little bit of a tricky part.
Yeah, but you're very clearly seeing that by identifying all those whys, right? And all of those whats you're going to receive at the end of the rainbow, and recognizing that those are equally as important to you as is the ultimate achievement of the specific goal. It's those little whys, all of those whys and all of those whats. And then most importantly, it's how do I become more of who I am and always was and meant to be through this process, right? Because that's the real treasure, right? You know, the real treasure is not just achieving that specific goal, it is evolving in the process, being more self aware, more self realized, more self empowered, right? And also recognizing all the gifts along the journey that life will bestow on us and that we will uncover and embrace, right? That are all part of the whole gestalt about moving towards a specific goal that is moving towards something we feel we are not right now or something we feel we do not have right now. But then it unveils the fact that you actually have all of that, but it needs to manifest, needs to give birth to, right? Needs to be embraced, and it needs to be integrated into who you are to become more of who you are and more than who you are. You see the two things? More of who you are and more than who you are through the process of, and that's my approach to goal achievement. You know, there are all kinds of programs that are out there to say, okay, you know, here's how you set a goal, right? Setting a goal is really easy. It's how do you achieve the goal and how does the achievement of the goal transform you? And that's what this program is all about. Right? It's about the inspiration, the transformation in the process of going forward to achieving a goal. And then there are mechanics, there are tools, there's support in that goal achievement process that I give in the program and that you're experiencing for those of you who are either part of the daily goal achievement mastery journaling system or of the masterclass for goal achievement mastery, right? Okay, Mark, you had your hand up. Did I mess up and erase it?
No. I
I
just
did,
put it
I'm
down.
sorry.
I wasn't sure if you were going to have time to get to it, but so my goal is to develop a business outside of my house, which I'm renting out. But this is a business which I feel is really an expression of my mission in this world. And it has a lot to do with building community and just expressing, you know, the highest values that I can tap into. And so I have some different ideas about where that's going to go, but it's that process. I know it's very general, but I actually have, you know, some workable plans. And so when I saw myself achieving it, I actually had a realization. And this is something I've been working on for like probably 2 years, where somebody once said something to me once. They basically spoke to me in a very kind, loving way about a post I put up on Facebook where I tore apart our prime minister in Canada here. And basically the person said, like, I can't serve those who I judge. And I was like, well, I never really wanted to serve this person anyway. I don't like this person, right? And it's like, I knew I was missing something. But the realization I just came to was that everyone can be in my community. And so, you know, I feel like this person that I can become, that I'm stepping into, never excludes anybody. And by judging them, that's what I was doing. And so my business goal really is about opening the gifts that I can share with a community of people. You know, a lot of what I heard Nancy and Marvin say, you know, was really connected with some of the points that they made. And yeah, so I think I really feel like there's that unfolding process by which I know I will continue to grow into being something more. I was really getting a glimpse of the infinite Mark as opposed to the ego Mark. You know, that sort of the ego part being that side of myself I kind of think myself to be, versus you know, a part of myself that is really connected with the Godhead, and to be able to express that in this world, in my business. You know, and business is kind of, it sounds like a very confining term, but I'm really talking about my day-to-day expression of taking care of my survival needs, taking care of my financial needs, but at the same time, like service, like really focused on service.
That's fantastic, Mark. Those are such important realizations, and also keys for self-liberation, right? Liberating ourselves from things that will hold us back, like judgment, like, limiting ourselves and limiting our vision of what's possible when we are focused on looking at the differences between us and someone or something else versus embracing what is unifying, right? And you so beautifully captured that. So thank you for that. That was really, really powerful and really helpful, I think, to many other people. So
thank you very much for that opportunity. That was great.
Yeah. You're very welcome. Okay. I don't see any other hands up. So I'm going to move to the next part, and the next part's going to be even more intuitive now that we did the first part. So I'm going to share my screen again because, in the world that we live in, every experience is made up of two pendulum polarity swings, right? So I want to look at the other side of the pendulum, or the other polarity of this discussion. So let's now look at this question, number 4. What is it about the achievement of the goal that you are running away from, right? What is it that you want to leave behind, leave it in the past, get away from it, right? What is it that you don't want to carry forward into your future? Right? Just take a look at that for a moment. Write that down in your notebook there. And how will you change by leaving those things behind, or by escaping that part of your past? And who do you become? How does this lead to you becoming something greater? By leaving these certain things behind, by running in an opposite direction from those things, by dropping those things. How does that make you greater, more complete, more whole? Take a moment, write those questions down, contemplate on them, and we will come back to discuss it. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now so that I can see you all. So, first of all, I think it's pretty clear, it's pretty logical that in order for us to move forward, to take a step forward, we have to release the previous step. In order for us to climb up a ladder, you must reach up to a higher level and you must pull yourself up and you must release the lower rung of the ladder, right? It's impossible to move forward and stay where you are at the same time, right? So by understanding this process and having it sort of kick-started, right? So often the road towards progress, the road towards goal achievement is as much about surrendering. It's as much about letting go. It's as much about escaping an old state of being or consciousness or doing. And it is a natural part of our brain and of our mind and of our being that progress is not just running towards the thing we want, the change we want, but it's also often running away from the things that we didn't want, didn't like, or couldn't stand anymore, right? And don't want to have as part of our life or our being, or just are downright afraid of it being a part of our being, right? All of those things can be true because, we're all different people. We all have different experiences. But in the end, when we recognize, hey, I'm moving towards this goal, but part of the fuel towards it is I'm running away from the old state of being, my old life, my old habits, right? And that's good, right? It's good if we are conscious and aware of what is it that I'm running away from, right? Because the running away from is connected to the running towards the goal, right? I've met some incredible women who have had the most horrifying lives, have been mistreated, have been held back in their lives by, whether it's a husband or a boyfriend or a father, but just held back from being their true self. And one day they said, enough is enough. And they started making their escape. And as they started to make that escape, as they started to assert their independence and their right to freedom and their right to self-expression and their right to goal achievement, they were fueled by looking back and saying, I will never, ever, ever allow myself to be that person and allow myself to be treated that way. And I will do whatever it takes to ensure that I live the life that I deserve. I live the life that I was meant to live. I live a life that expresses my qualities and honors me instead of a life that, dishonors me. You know what I'm saying here? And, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man, whether you are someone who works for yourself or someone who works for someone else, we all have had people, places, things, and experiences in our life that have strived to hold us back. And we all have inside of us those fears, right, of change, those fears of taking a risk, those fears of moving forward that are equally as limiting and equally can hold us back. that we have to run from. We have to move away from. So I invite whoever is feeling brave and whoever is feeling, confident and generous to share with us. What is it you discovered about you've been running away from? Now, it doesn't have to be you're trying to escape something, but just what is it you've discovered you really strongly are ready to leave behind, and that is propelling you forward, right? And the person you know you will become when you leave that behind is equally as powerful an advantage as the person you will become when you actually reach the goal. So, Bridget. Hey, Bridget. So you want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, there.
There you go.
So I've been running and running from my past,
Mm-hmm.
a past that was filled with anger, a past that was filled with attachment, a past that has its own measure of greed. And in doing that, what am I trying to do? I ask myself. Like somebody said earlier, I find where I am right now, I'm experiencing a measure of the person I want to be. And anytime anything happens to try to pull me back, the thought of that past makes me shudder. Because I don't know, I'm sure somebody at some point has that thing when you have a grudge or something is stuck in your throat and you don't want to say it or you don't want to. And it's so diminishing. But when you get to a point where you let go, like I'm at a point now where I let go of things and people see me, they don't know why I'm so happy. You know, I don't have a lot of money, I don't have a lot of anything, but yet I feel I have a lot. And so I had a situation a couple of days ago where this situation didn't involve me, it involved two other people, and I could see, I could relate how that situation was riddled with anger. And I couldn't imagine, and I'm trying to, and which is part of what I'm running towards to talk about it, because I want people to know what I know, or to get to feel how I feel, or to read my book and say, oh my God, there's such a thing as this. And then begin their own spiritual quests to discover who they are. And that situation I witnessed a couple of days ago made me even want to run further away, from the past. Because in the past, you have a piece of jewelry, you want to hang on to it. Yeah, you have a piece of antique furniture, you want to hang on to it. And then when I look at myself now and I said, my God, where am I going with all of this? Nowhere, nowhere. But to go and let all those baggages go and move forward, it feels like heaven. If 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 heaven is on earth, this is it. So those are the things I'm running away from, and I don't want to be recognized or seen as part of them ever again. You know, There's a saying that said to err is human and to forgive is divine. If somebody does something I don't like, I tell them point blank I don't like it, and that's the end of it. I don't go revisiting it. But I see people revisiting and regurgitating past hurts that I feel that is pulling someone back from experiencing that higher self, from seeing that nobility within you that is very freeing. Yeah. Does that make sense, or did I confuse everybody?
No, no, it makes perfect sense. So just to summarize, Bridget, as you are running away from those things, as you are moving forward away from those things, who is Bridget now? Describe Bridget now that you are no longer stuck in that realm of those things. You have moved away from it. Who are you now that is different from who you were back then?
Bridget now is that's someone that is free, that's someone that is kind, that's someone that, you know, little things don't matter to anymore. It's someone who, hey, what is there? What is happening? You know, there's a message here. Is a person that sees a lesson in every situation or a message in every situation, and is someone that has a sense, a measure of freedom that is a lighter individual, not heavy, not, you know, if people can understand what I mean by,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, not a heavy hearted anyone.
And
Yeah.
and how does that lightness, how does that freedom, how will that help you move towards achieving your goal in a better, easier way?
It's when I know that somehow I still have, even though I'm at that point where I'm feeling the freedom of the real me that to be, or the real me that's developing, I still have that fear of what people think, or what. So what's keeping me, or even though I'm trying to run, what's pulling me back sometimes is oh, people are going to think I'm weird. Look at what she wrote, kind of thing. How can that be? You know? Yet I must do it because I want people to see what I see. Because I'm using this is it's almost like a light-hearted story, but within that light-heartedness, people could see, anyone with an open mind could see the value of what is going on there. And so that's where I am at.
So, in relation to the worry about people not understanding your vision, not understanding your experience, not understanding your mission, right?
Yeah.
And judging you because of it. What's important to remember is they don't have your vision because the divine did not give that vision to them. It gave it to you. They don't understand your mission because that is not their mission. The divine gave that mission to you. And so by embracing the fact that it is your mission, it is your vision, it is your goal, it is part of what is going to feed and sustain you on your journey, right? take comfort in the fact that it's okay that others don't share your vision, they don't share your dream, they don't share your motivation because it was given to you. Right? It is your child to raise and to nourish. It belongs to you, not to them. It was gifted to you, not to them. And therefore, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter those folks out there who don't see and don't understand and don't embrace. Not everyone will, but the important people are the people out there waiting for what you have to offer. And you would not have entered onto the path of offering it had there not been people waiting to receive what you have to offer. Right? When I started this program almost a year and a half ago now, right? A lot of people judged what I was doing. A lot of people said, why are you doing this? You know, what do you know about doing this? You know, what do you have to offer? They couldn't understand why I was doing this. And I didn't have to do this. There's so many other things I could have done. But I felt my connection with you. I knew you're out there. I could see you, I could hear you, I could feel you, and I knew that I had something that was important to share with you, and that in turn, you would share something important with me, but with the world. And that has been what I have focused on every single day. That's why I work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. People look at me and say, you're supposed to be retired, idiot. Why do you work so hard?
Yeah.
Because I made a promise to you. I made a commitment to you and all of those people that we will meet in the year to come and the years to come who are waiting. They're not thousands. They're not millions. They're handfuls of people. But I made an agreement to serve them. And I will keep that agreement. And I will work as hard as I have to. And I will change. And I will learn. And I will grow. And I will sacrifice. And I will look stupid if I have to, which is one of my natural talents anyway. I will just perfect it further if I have to. But I will do whatever it takes because of that commitment. And because I know I made an agreement and that others will benefit. And so that's what I focus on, even though people judge me and laugh at me and even criticize me for doing what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. I move away from that and I move towards who and what I know I can achieve and who and what I know I can serve. And you're doing the same thing, Bridget, and congratulations for that.
Wow.
Keep on moving it. Keep on growing. Keep on glowing.
Thank you, Mike. You don't know what you've done for me just now. That is amazing. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for what you're doing and what you're about to do. It is necessary.
Thanks.
Even if it's just one person
Yeah.
that will be touched by it, it's necessary.
Thanks.
I don't know if I've ever told this story in this group, but I ran across somebody years ago, and she was telling me she had attended an event I was doing and let me know that she was at a very low point in her life, and when she came to this event, it saved her life. And she began to tell me the last time that had happened, it was years ago. She was very despondent. A relationship had broken up. Work wasn't going well. She was at the absolute lowest point in her life she could be at. And it was a very cold, snowy night, and she gave up. And she said, that's it. I'm walking out in my shirt sleeves and my shorts, no socks, no shoes, and I'm just going to keep walking until I freeze to death. Because I cannot bear it anymore. I cannot deal with this pain, right? Nobody wants me. Nobody loves me. What's the point? And so she walked out the door in her shirt sleeves and shorts, bare feet, in the blowing snow, the middle of the night. And she came to a field, a big open field, and it was a full moon. And the full moon was shining down on this beautiful white open field. And as she began to walk, she noticed something was written in the snow. And she looked at it and it said, I love you. Somebody had written in the snow, I love you. And she stopped, she looked at it, and there was this rush of recognition that somebody loved someone enough to write this in the snow. And if there is love out there that could be expressed so simply and beautifully for someone else, maybe there's love out there for me.
Mm.
And she turned around and walked back into her house and warmed herself up, and she survived. And I was telling this story at a conference, and in the back of the room, this person yells, "Oh my God." And the room went silent. He said, "Oh my God." So I went over to him after I was done and I said, what was going on? He said, in that exact state, in that exact area, some years ago, the woman who was the love of my life broke the news to me that she had found someone else who she loved more, who gave her everything she ever dreamed of, who was her perfect match, and that she had decided that she was giving herself permission to end this relationship and go for that relationship that she knew would be more fulfilling. And he told me that I loved that person so much. If that was going to make her life better, if that was going to make her happier, if that was going to make her more fulfilled, I loved her so much, I wanted her to be the happiest woman in the world. And so I gave her my blessing. And as I walked away from our meeting, I came to this field and I wrote in the snow, I love you. And I looked in his eyes and I said, do you realize that nobleness, that honesty, that purity of the love you had for this person and the unselfishness that you had? And the words you wrote in that snow saved somebody's life. It changed their life. It inspired them. And he broke down and cried and realized the magic of that circle of experience, right? The magic of what happens when we love so deeply and we become detached from our attachments, right? Of owning and controlling and surrender to the purity of giving people love and freedom and space to become who they were meant to be, that the world benefits. Because everyone in that room who heard the story, their lives were changed forever. That woman's life was changed forever. And everybody she met in through her life was changed forever by that selfless act of giving someone the highest form of love and expressing it so humbly So I want to leave you with that story, that in our struggles, as we are running away from the painful limitations towards the joyous freedoms of achieving goals, it is a victory not just for us, but it is a victory and a tool for evolution and advancement for all of life. When you have the courage to make that journey, to leave behind the old and the limited, and with courage and trust and vision and focus and creativity and collaboration, be willing to move forward to do whatever it takes to be the very, very best that you were meant to be. And never look back, but always be grateful, because where we came from and what we struggled with and who we struggled with were fuel for our journey forward. So I always think about this as I set a goal and I move towards it. What am I running towards and why? And what am I running away from? And then finally, what is the connection and the gift between the two? Think about it. Contemplate on it. Explore it. I truly believe it will make your journey to achieving your goals much clearer, richer, and a more conscious journey. So I want to leave you with that. I want to thank you for being here tonight. I want to thank you for your generosity of sharing your goals and your stories. Thank you for your generosity of your time. I love you all. I'm grateful for you all, and I wish you all the best tomorrow, the next day, and every day of the rest of your life. I wish you the very, very best as you pursue embracing more and more of who you really are, why you're really here, and what you were meant to become and who you were meant to serve. It is the greatest honor to do those things. And it's the greatest honor to support you in that effort. So love you all. Have a great night. Have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you next week.